In the wrestling world, the people are represented by two separate but unequally important groups. The wrestlers and bookers, who literally do all the hard work, and the fans, who endlessly nitpick and overanalyze everything they do. These are their stories.
It's Warhorse, and you need to shut your mouth, open your eyes, and clean out your ears, because it's time to listen to the Raw and Order podcast. That's right, they're bringing you the best in all that meaty podcasty goodness in one, what is it, an hour? Two? Who cares? Who gives a shit? You need to listen to it right now, or else Warhorse is gonna, roll your ass!
Welcome to Raw and Order, the wrestling booking unit, the only wrestling podcast on the planet with this nifty little blur thing behind me that I spent hours setting up today because I'm a noob. I am your host, Detective Mark Smarks, and I am joined, as always, by my partners in crime fighting, who, for some reason or other, don't have their cameras on. Starting off, District Attorney Vincent Kayfabe. What's going on, man? How are you?
Well, I don't do the blurry background, so those of you who do, which is both of you, who apparently blurry background's more important than...
I didn't do the whole blurry background. It's sharp right behind me. I did a special gradient blurry background just to hit the sides because I hated people seeing that stupid doorknob over there.
You can still see a doorknob.
But it's blurry.
It's a blurry doorknob.
It's a blurry doorknob. And so
I feel
it's
like you need a full-size cutout of Sting over there.
It's blurry. I do have a Sting Bashin' Buddy or whatever they're called.
Just cut a hole in the back of him and put it on the doorknob.
My daughter loves to steal it, and every once in a while, like in the middle of the night, we'll suddenly hear it because she rolled over and hit the Bashin' Buddy and goes, "Ow! Watch it, Wolfpack for life," or whatever. I don't know.
That's fun. Wake up in the middle of the night and hear Stinger. Woo! Only in his voice, not Ric Flair's. I just can't do the Sting one. It's higher pitched. Yeah.
But
anyway,
also
there's another person
from up north, RCMP JLB. What's going on, man?
Hey. I am probably COVID-free since a day ago. So not too bad. Happy to be happy again.
You weren't happy before?
I mean, I was happy, but I'm COVID. What's gonna happen with my trip? There was, a certain melancholy on my fucking life at the moment. But I'm good now. I'm good. I'm great. I'm grand. I'm happy. Let's
great,
go.
Grand.
Yes, sir. Mexico
Yes, sir.
in a week and a day, so I'm pretty freaking stoked.
We don't care about you. I mean, fuck.
Mexico, though. Mexico
also,
sounds fun.
Joining us in the chat,
That's great.
we've got Ambrosia modding it up in there.
Hello.
Hey, I just got the notification that in 1 minute we're going to have an advertisement start because I also figured that shit out.
Oh, there you go. I knew that was like freaking you out. Look at you go. You really nerded up on that Stream Elements, didn't you? Good for you.
Well, it's Stream Elements and it's the dashboard. I'm just figuring out how the dashboard works and
Nice.
adding the proper thingamajigs to the dashboard. So 24 seconds till the ad starts.
So we're just going to wait for the ad?
No, I'm just telling people that the ad's about to start in 15 seconds, so just be prepared. Those of you who are subscribers will not see the ad. You'll see us continue to talk.
Because you pay for shit.
But so see you in a minute 30.
So anyway, those non-subscribers, fuck them guys.
Fuck them, man. Fuck those non-subscribers right in
the fucking face.
Fucking right in the ear. So a lot of fun to talk about in wrestling, but last week we had a time when we went off a little bit on local college football, and not much better this week. The only difference is he's got an excuse to not be much better because he wasn't head coach a week ago. You know?
Well, he also apparently Miami wants him. At least the fans do.
The thing is, this was a tough game for him to
Navigate.
be suddenly thrust into. It's against a ranked team and one of our long-standing rivals, and they walked all over us, as they probably should have. So,
Yes.
but the score was not great. Not great at all. But anywho, that's not professional wrestling, and that's what people came here to see. So in 10 seconds, we're gonna get back to talking professional.
Oh my God, we really waited? Okay.
Hey, professional wrestling fans. Welcome.
Boom. Welcome back from the ad.
Hey, professional wrestling fans.
Welcome. So we're going to talk professional wrestling. We're going to talk the ups and the downs in the world of professional wrestling this week. And one of the ones that I think JLB at least has interest in. And Bridget says there was no ad. It said it was running an ad. I could show you the screenshot. It said ad. Maybe it thinks you're a subscriber. Are you?
Yeah, just always here. They're just like, yeah.
Were you kind enough to subscribe? Don't give that subscription to something stupid like WTN.
Hey, Jesus Christ! Shots fired. I mean, you can't even. We're not affiliated there.
Okay. Whew.
Yeah.
Woo!
Jeez.
Safe bet there.
Jeez.
And you won't be affiliated while you're in Mexico.
Nope.
Right.
Sure won't be.
Sure won't.
But maybe we'll do our bra and panties match while you're in Mexico.
No, you son of a bitch.
That would be fun.
You. That's mean. I'm gonna get Warhorse to roll your ass.
Rule.
So the big thing I was going to talk about, or at least was going to bring up, I know JLB was interested in it, is Malachi Black. He released a statement saying that he's going to be gone for a while. He's working on himself. He doesn't really want to talk about it. He doesn't like talking about shit like this. But he says there's a lot of the stuff that had been reported that wasn't exactly right. But he won't go into details exactly. Now, I'm going to point out Malachi Black is still listed on AEW's roster page. They have not taken him off of there.
Yeah, I believe it's a brief hiatus.
And so the report stated that he was conditionally released and that they planned on him coming back. But I don't think that's what's happening. I think he was given time off. Time off to do whatever he needs to do. And effectively, I think Tony Khan basically said, you do what you need to do. I'm not going to penalize you for
taking care of your personal life.
Taking care of your personal life. I would prefer for you to not wrestle elsewhere. Right?
Yeah. I mean, that's a reasonable preference.
But I'm not gonna say you have to come here. You have to wrestle. You know what I mean? And I think that's a reasonable thing to request. You know what I mean?
I think it's reasonable to behave in a manner that's probably best for your athletes like that for Tony Khan. There is one giant looming question mark that comes out of the Malachi Black statement that makes me believe, and I'm guessing this is where you were headed with this, makes me believe there might be more to CM Punk's claims than we knew. And that is #truth. If that was a private conversation that was only had with AEW management and Malachi Black, how did that information get leaked as well?
Mm-hmm. So I'll read the whole statement so that and we'll highlight the part you're referring to. It says, firstly, thank you all for your messages. Know they are being read and appreciated. With all the turmoil going on in the landscape of professional wrestling, I took the time to think of my words, but also needed to wait until conversations between mine and AEW's camps had come to a conclusion. Firstly, I dislike reading parts of my private conversations between myself and AEW in regards to my mental well-being on the internet. These conversations were private and not meant to be shared with the public. As now most people realize, I am a very private person and do not feel the need to have stuff like this out on the internet. If you have been following me longer than a cup of coffee, you're aware I've spoken out about them prior, but would like to be the one deciding when this finds its way into the public and not through someone else's mouth. As with anything through the lips of someone else, that story gets distorted. He goes on to say, secondly, to be in line with the above, they also need context. I did indeed ask for my release. The last 2 years of my life have been
that fucked you up completely.
That really did, yes. I got an alert in my ear, and I'm so like, what the fuck? So have lended to a lot of setbacks. Both me and my wife have been affected by uncontrollable actions from the outside that resulted in loss of life, medical setbacks, career jeopardizing, the suicide of a close friend, and a close family member almost losing their life, then experiencing an injury that I was sure was the end of my career. I spend every week going through several sessions of rehab, dry needling, and therapy just to be able to walk and compete. Now, this being the tip of the iceberg, and with the combination of the promises in my professional field that were not upheld, which resulted as a combination of all of these to a complete demoralization of life and career. This decision had been in my mind for the past 6 months. It's hard to really put a finger and say this was the moment it all went wrong, but I can tell you after many years that I have learned from a rational point of view to see what I need to hit the brakes. And which is what this is. Perhaps once my mind settles certain things and processes the last 2 years a bit better, I will convey via a different platform than written out what the exacts were that happened and have a more informed conversation about them. For now, know that I am good. I am taking, for the first time in 22 years, a few months to recalibrate the last 2 decades of my life. Lastly, I have read a few narratives online regarding my, quote, release, end quote, mental health, and my personal life that I can summarize swiftly. If it didn't come from me, it didn't happen. Stuff about conditional releases, stuff in my marriage, or using said mental health to leverage the other, when, as I said before, that part wasn't even going to be part of the public conversation, are false. My marriage is fine. I am fine. It's just the time to make sure those things stay that way. Once again, I appreciate your support, and we will see each other soon enough, MB. So, the things about that I'm going to point out is, A, he signed his name Malachi Black, not Aleister Black, not Tommy End, not, his real name or whatever. Which, to me, implies that he's, at least for the time being, planning on staying Malachi Black. Which was his AEW name, not his Indies name, and not his WWE name.
Correct.
The thing
or
that
maybe he changed his name to Malachi Black.
The thing that DA Fabe is referencing is there's a couple points in there where he mentions that he had conversations with AEW and that came out public, right? And what we don't know is exactly what
or whom released that information.
Yeah. I mean, and specifically who he had those conversations with. right? If they were direct to Tony Khan,
it means he's not claiming that they're a lie, which is what CM Punk does. But CM Punk again has a certain level of toxicity around him consistently,
but
where he would say if he said something
yeah,
that was inappropriate, he would call that a lie. Malachi Black does not have that toxicity that we know of, and for that reason, makes me think maybe there were two toxic people involved in the CM Punk thing, which would result minimum two, which would result in CM Punk behaving the way he did.
I would anticipate if it was Tony Khan that he had those conversations with, and then it came out public, that the tone of this would have been a lot different, right?
I would also assume that means he probably won't. You're saying that he won't be back with AEW would have been the tone.
Yeah, the tone would have been fuck AEW and all of that shit. You know what I mean? Specifically saying, listen, I had private conversations with Tony Khan, and that got out to the public, and I didn't like that, right? The fact that he specifically said, my conversations with those in AEW.
I mean, and this could be anybody from. The implication could be anybody from the Jackson brothers to Kenny Omega, all the way to the guy who runs the Nightmare Factory,
QT Marshall.
QT Marshall, yeah.
The guy who runs the Nightmare Factory. Put some respect in his name.
First of all, they refer to it as the Factory now because Cody took Nightmares with him too.
Oh, so now we just got dreams. Yay!
But second of all, that's the goes. Yeah, I would anticipate that either this was locker room gossip that went backstage, like he's just talking backstage, man, I think I'm going to take some time off. I'm not feeling good. And then those people went to the press and that's who he's angry at. Or if it's more angry, and that's why I just didn't read it quite as super angry. That's where it would come from. Like, I had conversations with Christopher Daniels, and that came out. I had conversations specifically with these people, and then I see it reported in the dirt sheets, which means I know who these leaks are. Which is, the cornerstone of CM Punk's claim is that he feels he knows who the leaks were.
The leaks are, yes.
And specifically pointing to
Matt and Nick Jackson, and by connection Kenny Omega. Although he never specifically went after Kenny Omega. He mostly implied the Bucks.
Well, EVPs.
Yeah, EVPs
still implying Kenny Omega.
It does, but my point is because he barely interacted with Kenny Omega.
Right.
That's true. He didn't have much of an opportunity to.
He came in early September. Kenny Omega left in November and didn't come back until just a few weeks prior to this, right? So he didn't have a chance to really have a lot. But the Young Bucks were there a lot of the time. Speaking of Chicago-made Phil, I spotted this little gem at my local Target and had to pick it up. But now I have to fight the urge to let it breathe because I'm a guy who likes to have his toys out. But a sealed CM Punk, potentially the last model of action figure that he gets.
Right.
Could potentially be worth something.
I mean, letting it breathe could also be worth something too.
Yeah. One of the things I like about the Jazzwares that they use for these is they use cloth for he's got a cloth jacket on him.
Oh snap!
Yeah, it's a hoodie, and he's got an AEW mic that I could give to Hangman Page or something. I don't know.
Jeez.
Anyways, but So me reading the Malachi Black statement, it implies a couple things that go that aren't specifically stated but implied. That he's probably coming back to AEW. That the reports of the conditional release and all of that stuff were a lie, which then also to me implies that he's still with AEW. And that he is taking care of himself. If you watched the video that preceded him releasing that, where he talked to the crowd at an indie show, I don't remember what indie show it was, but it was some indie show. He talked to the crowd and addressed them. If you watched him, you could tell he was probably in pain. Like, his entire upper body was basically just stiff as a board. He didn't move at the waist. He didn't, you know what I mean? It walked like a person whose back is really, really hurting. And I think that's probably part of it. You know, he talked about the dry needling and all of that stuff, the back injury that may have ended his career, and he's mentioned it before on his Instagram, treating his back injury. Those are things that I think a lot of this is like, hey, let's take some time off, some official time off to heal, not just
And-
let's go do some stuff for a while. This is let's take some time off to fully heal and not even rehab, just heal.
No, and that's it. And then he talked about his personal stuff, right? With someone that he knew that had committed suicide, with someone who almost nearly had also died as well, and all this. And then all this is happening, and you're still wrestling and still doing this. The dude just needs a break. And utmost respect for how Malachi had handled it. I've always read that he was a personal person, and he seemed like a great guy. And this to me just screams pure class act. I think he handled it in the greatest way that anyone can handle when people are shooting rumors at you. He wasn't being salty to anyone. He just said his piece, gave you enough info for you dirt sheets to just his fans to know, hey guys, look, I'm good. I'm great. You don't really need to know all this, but here you go. You're just going to get a little bit of the news for me, but all in all, for those who care, I am fine. I just need to take a break. I really liked his tweet thread there. That was really awesome.
Yeah. Cal's in the comments.
Oh, crazy cow!
What's up?
He's also a wrestling fan.
Wrestling fan. Well, that's a good thing because he's here on a wrestling show.
Wrestling podcast.
But so yeah, that's kind of how I read it. Is that he's like, listen, I need to take some time. I got some shit to work out. None of this, and he did reference that his career wasn't going over the way he wanted to over the last 2 years. Although I'll point out only one of them was with AEW, right? So his frustrations were with the way his career was going before he even got let go, right?
Right.
Now, I could see him being frustrated with his positioning in AEW. Some of it he had no control over because he was out with an injury for a while, and some of it he did have control over.
Again, I think people are reading it in way too much. He's just kind of like, there was shit I was going through while I was in said companies, and I didn't like where my head was at and what I was doing.
That's more or less what I was reading it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is that he's like, listen, I may have not been super happy with the way things were going, but it was like a lot of it was shit I couldn't control. Right. I couldn't control the pick a fight with me storyline. So I had to do it.
Right.
I couldn't control the fact that I had this injury and couldn't come out and be this monster. I couldn't control the fact that I was brought in to AEW with a program with one of their EVPs, Cody Rhodes, and then he fucking nerfs out and goes back to the place I just got fired from, right? He can't control those things, and it really did hamper his overall trajectory in AEW. I get it, So I don't blame him if he's got frustrations, but at the same point, I think AEW consistently booked him as a monster. Every time he came out, he destroyed people. You know,
Right.
if he hit the black
Yeah, I
mass,
don't know.
they were out.
Did he ever lose on his back?
1 second. Let's see.
I don't know that he had a. I know that he lost. I just don't think that he got pinned. I think they were DQ losses or.
I'm gonna look up at his cage match. Matches. Must have been at Prestige Perseverance was where he did the Prestige Wrestling. They lost the match at All Out. But it wasn't. I don't think it was him who took the pin. I can't remember how that one showed. They lost the trios tournament, but I'm pretty sure that was like Buddy Matthews took the pin there.
Yeah, I thought it was somebody else that took the pin.
They defeated the Dark Order at Fyter Fest. It was the Pac versus Clark Connors versus Malachi Black versus Miro for the All Atlantic Championship at Forbidden Door. But I think Clark Connors was the one who took the pin there, so I don't think he.
Right, yeah.
I don't think he took a pin there. Malachi Black, he beat Penta Obscuro in the qualifying that. House of Black beat Death Triangle at Double or Nothing. House of Black beat a bunch of people on AEW Dark. On Rampage, they beat Fuego in the Dark Order. House of Black defeated Fuego in the Dark Order on Rampage before that. So yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at this, and I don't think he lost very often at all. So I mean, yeah, he wasn't in a feud with Kenny Omega.
Right.
Or insert other really big name superstar. But again, I think that's something that was a little bit out of his control, because when he was brought into AEW, it was against Cody Rhodes, right? His
Right.
first match
A pretty big.
was at Homecoming with Cody Rhodes. Second one, he defeated Brock Anderson, who was the mentee of Cody Rhodes. Then he defeated Lee Johnson, who was the mentee of the Nightmare Factory. Then he defeated Dustin Rhodes. Then he defeated Cody Rhodes exactly almost a year ago at Grand Slam last year. And then he lost to Cody Rhodes. This is the only time I think he took a pin himself. He lost to Cody Rhodes at Saturday Night Dynamite. And then lost to Cody Rhodes and Pac at Full Gear. But I don't think he took the pin there. But then that's about when Cody Rhodes deuced out.
So I don't know that this is about win-loss record either. Then
no. It's just that it could be he felt like since then, he's gone against Buddy Matthews, Griff Garrison, Brian Pillman, Death Triangle a few times.
a feud with Pac is not a bad feud, though.
No, it's not. Fuego in the Dark Order a couple times. Bear Country and Fuego. A couple nobodies.
That booking sounds a little bit like, we think you're talented and we really, really want to have you on our roster. We don't know where your story's going yet.
Well, or we're building you up for a story. I mean, remember, Goldberg, and I don't always want to go to the Goldberg reference, but Goldberg wrestled nobodies and beat the tar out of them for, almost
Ever.
a year before they really gave him a big name. Because you got to build people up. Now, I'm not saying they were building him up to be Goldberg, but I think they were building him up to be this kind of monster. And the way you do that is to have him beat up nobodies and then eventually beat up the big name.
Yeah.
And so, I think AEW got hit by the injury bug, unfortunately. So a lot of their bigger names went out injured. They also got hit by the Cody Roadster heading off to WWE, which, again, that was the main program that he was involved in to start. So because of that, it's kind of like, what do we do with him now? Well, I don't know. We throw him off towards someone else. I would like to see him in a good feud when he comes back. I'm hoping he comes back to AEW. If he goes back to WWE, in the end, I think all wrestling fans should be able to agree that we really just want him to go somewhere where he's happy. He was not happy in the old WWE. I think we all can agree that. The new
Right.
WWE, he may be happier in. It's being booked creatively by a person who treated him well when he was in charge of the booking at NXT. But it is still the land of the giants. Now, D.A. Fabe is muted and talking, so.
Sorry. At the end of the day, we have to have that conversation that he was injured and needs a break regardless. So
Yeah, that's it. That's kind of more my thing. He's not even thinking about where he's going right now. He just wants to conclude on everything he's done in his life and reminisce about the right things he's done, the wrong things he's done, and just heal. I don't think we can't answer that question because he doesn't even know. At the end of the day, he's like, I don't give a shit about wrestling right now. I want to get my mental state in check.
Mm-hmm. And I agree. Like I said, I all I'm saying is I would prefer for him to come back to AEW for many reasons. A, I'm an AEW mark. That's never been hidden.
what?
But B, he's 5'11". AEW or WWE is still, even under Triple H, still the land of the giants.
In fact, Triple H is a big believer in giant people. Now he does like underdogs, but
yeah, there's a reason Triple H brought back Braun Strowman.
Yes,
is because that fits the product on WWE main roster. And I think that he felt that I think if Malachi Black goes back to WWE, he'll fall into a similar hole that he was in before, aka we don't know what to do with you. Just a heads up, I think we're having another ad, maybe, I don't know. So if you're watching and then suddenly we go to ad, let us know and we'll stop talking about something.
Comment and we'll stop the wrestling talk for a moment.
Yeah.
So
if it goes like Ambrosia said, and there's no ad played, then great, we keep going. I don't know. I don't have control. I don't even know what ads it's supposed to be playing. It just says ads starting in 20 seconds.
I had a professor in college that called advertisements.
People do that though.
I always
it's
thought
like
it was weird.
It's the British pronunciation.
I'm just saying it's weird.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Well,
no,
we might be in
right?
advertisement right now. It should be starting in 1 second if it goes. But yes, so anyways, Malachi Black, I hope he gets whatever help he's needing. I hope he continues to improve both his back and his body and his mental state. And I personally hope he comes back to AEW in a big way. That being said, in the end, the biggest hope that I hope is that he gets better.
If whatever he chooses to do, if it's out of wrestling, we want to wish him the best. We also want to wish AEW less drama in their personal endeavors.
Oh, Jesus!
We've
Right?
seen that this can definitely reach a toll on an organization, and so.
Well, speaking of AEW drama, the other thing I wanted to talk about, or at least an other thing I wanted to talk about, there's a lot of speculation around a Samuel Guevara this week.
Oh, right.
Because
I think he's just an attention whore. That's all it is.
I think it's entirely a work. I agree. I think it's about building up his name because there's a lot of evidence I think that supports it. But to go into it in case DA Fabe didn't see the news about it, he changed his social media up. He removed all mentions of AEW on his social media. Some people report that the name change had been a while ago, but a lot of people are noticing he's no longer Sammy Guevara, he's Samuel Guevara on social media, and so they're wondering if that also plays into it. And then he's tweeted out some mostly attention seeking sort of tweets and posts that led some people to speculate. Let me see if I can pull up his Samuel Guevara. He changed his bio to just a kid chasing a dream, booking inquiries, book Sammy and Ty at gmail.com. On September 16th, he tweeted out just a gif of the end of Truman Show, where Truman takes a bow and then walks out the door, never to be seen again. Prior to that, he tweeted, "I hope you live a life you're proud of, and if you're not, I hope you have the courage to start over again." And then a message kind of remarking on the previous night's loss to John Moxley in the semifinals of the tournament. What it comes down to me is most of these I think point to he's gonna revamp his character on AEW, and maybe try to step out of the always the backstory to Chris Jericho sort of a thing. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't think he's going anywhere, as evident by the fact that he's got a match booked for this week on AEW.
Oh, does he? Okay, there you go.
Yeah. And it's a big match. It's not just any match.
It's not a teeny tiny. All right, this bad joke.
Let me find it.
Lots of yours are.
Ouch.
Yeah,
Didn't need to go there, bud.
Oh, he's gonna be in the that's what it is. He's gonna be in the Grand Slam Battle Royal thing that they're doing.
So next week is Mox versus who? I didn't see.
Danielson. Yeah. So on Dynamite, we're going to have Mox versus Danielson, Swerve in Our Glory versus The Acclaimed rematch, Claudio Castagnoli versus Chris Jericho, Pac versus Orange Cassidy, and Tony Storm versus Serena Deeb versus Athena versus Britt Baker. I don't know if that one's going to be a championship match. It might be. Let me see if they have a thing. And then there's also going to be the Grand Slam Battle Royal for number one contenders or something like that. I'm trying to find the where they mentioned it. No.
I think.
And that
No,
might
but isn't
not
the
actually
four-way
be till
women's
Rampage.
match? Isn't the four-way women's match actually for the titles?
It might be. I don't know. I said I wasn't sure on that.
Okay, I believe they are because that was their whole thing for Grand Slam.
Tournament of Champions. That very well might be. The Golden Ticket Battle Royal isn't on until Rampage. But the Golden Ticket Battle Royal, he has been listed as one of the contestants in the Golden Ticket Battle Royal. So, you know, I don't think he's going anywhere, but I could see him revamping his style a bit, or not style, but maybe his character. That's the word I'm looking for. A bit. And like I said, one of the things I wish his character would get away from is Chris Jericho.
Right.
Not that Chris Jericho is bad by any means, but I think in the case of Samuel Guevara, I think it holds him back a bit because he's always going to be in Jericho's shadow in that.
Well, he was out of Jericho's shadow for a while, and they put him back into it.
Put him back in it. And unfortunately, they put him back in it, I think, mostly because of Ty Conti. And his relationship with her, I should say. Because of the heel heat that they got from that.
You're like, oh, well, yeah, so he has to be heel. Well, okay. I feel like he can carry heel on his own.
I feel like he can as well. I feel like I would love if he went back to the Sammy Guevara from early AEW. Just with the vignettes of, yeah, I heard you had a good match. I mean, I didn't see it, but I heard about it. I heard it was a great match. Did you see my match? My match was fire. I thought that was a really good character, just super cocky, super into himself. But
Well, I feel like that's what he plays anyways, no? Super cocky into himself.
yeah, but playing it next to Jericho, you're always going to be in Jericho's shadow.
That's fair.
And I think he just needs to be on his own for a bit, and he needs to be Sammy Guevara, and frankly, like, I don't hate them as a couple like some people do, but I do think that both Ty Conti and Sammy Guevara would do better separate.
Well, we've talked about that numerous times in the past. I mean, people divested in Beth and Seth, not Beth, Becky and Seth, knowing full well that they were two of the top names in the sport, you know.
Yep.
And they just, I mean,
like I said, I don't care about this.
We don't need these two together. We don't care.
But so, anyways, that's kind of my thoughts on that. I don't think he's going anywhere. Reports have it he signed a fucking 5-year contract when he came on, and so he's still got at least a year on this contract. I don't see him going anywhere, and I don't see him asking for his release, especially since when we talked about WWE being the land of the giants in conjunction with Malachi Black, the same holds true for Sammy Guevara.
Yeah. Well, and let's be honest about it. It takes a rare bird who doesn't want to be in one of those two organizations. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe New Japan, but in terms of somebody who says out loud, "I'd rather be at Impact," that is a rare person.
Mm-hmm. That's my thing is the only reason he would leave is if he felt like he could go to WWE, and the only way he'd go to WWE is if they were relaunching their cruiserweight division, because they don't have a place for him right now. And this is not trying to knock on Sammy Guevara. I personally think he's a fucking star.
I would like to hear his intro music just be Samuel Guevara.
Samuel Guevara.
Like just flat out. Haha.
Maybe this
Told
goes
your asses.
Samuel Guevara. Wah 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 wah
New world order.
wah. No, that was legally distinct from the New World Order.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because New World Order goes wah 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 wah, and I went wah 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 wah.
I'm done. I'm done. Let's carry on.
Wah, 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 wah. Oh my God, Charlie Brown's T-shirt on the podcast tonight.
Listen, it's dun 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 dun, not
Okay.
dun 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 dun.
Thank you,
dun,
Vanilla
dun.
Ice. I appreciate it.
You are.
I'm sorry.
Welcome.
Vanilla cold water.
Yes. This is tropical ice. Anyways,
Tropical ice.
I am tropical snow.
I actually had somebody come to me the other day and say, "Hey, which one of these snow cone companies do you like better?" To which I said, "It's a fucking snow cone company."
Snow cone companies?
Yeah, there's two in the town I establish business in.
I've been angry that I haven't found one here in my town that's even close to tropical snow.
One of them in the town I'm in is a tropical snow. The other one is another name. I think it's unique to just it, so I'm not going to say it. I don't need people coming to my town.
Yeah.
Being all weird, being like, "Hey, you're a district attorney on a podcast." Yeah.
Trust me, I've been to your town. No one's coming to your town.
People come to my town all the time.
Not willingly.
Wow. Dick.
Ooh. We got a request for a posture check. Everyone's got to check their posture. Channel points, posture check, done.
Up the neck there. Just make sure I've got this.
Can do this. Yep.
Appreciate it. Okay, now I'm going to go back to slumping.
Yeah, now we can slump some more.
Perfect. Slump time.
But
Doctor Strange hair. What a weird name.
what a weirdo. Fucking weirdos. Anyways, what else went on in professional wrestling this week? Got
Good that they're
unsuspended
professionals in wrestling.
from AEW. That's good news.
Who got unsuspended?
Basically, not CM Punk and his and Ace Steel, and not the Elite. The other 4 people involved, or 3 people.
Oh, and the Young Bucks definitely got suspended because they wrote on their Twitter as their location suspended, comma AF, which I thought was very creative. Suspended as fuck.
Yeah, because they used to be Christian AF, and now they're suspended AF. Yeah, no, we knew they were suspended. Them and Kenny Omega definitely got suspended. Kenny Omega got removed from all promotional appearances. He was supposed to be over in Japan promoting the video game at Tokyo Game Show. And
he is. That's why we saw the bite mark.
That's not for the video game, because that was at a different company's booth. That was let me pull it up here. The Capcom live stream, which the video game's not through Capcom. He's in Japan. He was scheduled to be in Japan for other reasons. He's in Japan at Tokyo Game Show, but not for AEW. He was not at the AEW booth, or the THQ Nordic booth, I should say. He was not involved in any of the promotions. AEW flew some people over there to take his spot. So the stuff that he's doing is not AEW related. They've been very clear about it. He got
okay.
Yeah, he got scanned for another video game that he was going to be involved in, and I can't remember what it was now.
What, the guy who comes out to video game music is doing video game promotions in another country? Crazy.
Yeah. What was the game he got scanned for? He visited Sega's HQ while there.
Sega.
God, I can't find what it was. He got scanned for it's some shooting game or something like that. He's gonna be involved.
Oh, well, he's gonna be in Yakuza. He's gonna be in the Yakuza
That
game,
might have
so
been
that's what that was
Yakuza
for.
game.
Yeah.
But so he got removed from the THQ Nordic panel, and they had to send other people over there to deal with that.
Oh, snap. Okay.
So he, but so he's definitely suspended. And then of course Ace Steel and CM Punk are something not in AEW right now. That's for certain.
And still on their webpage for now.
Yeah. Well, they're either suspended or out injured or both. That picture that JLB mentioned was at the Capcom booth, but you can see on Kenny Omega's arm
Visible
the bite
bite
mark
marks.
from
Ace Steel.
Ace Steel.
Side note, what grown adult bites in a fight? I mean, other than one that wants to win, I suppose.
Yeah, well, in his statement, apparently, someone who's concerned about their disabled wife's well-being, because she was apparently in the room. All reports, I would still say, look to your best boy, CM Punk, because he's the one who started throwing hands.
Yeah, it sounds like that's an undeniable.
Yeah, that's the one thing that both of their statements have the same, right? That he started throwing punches. He says he started because he figured they were there to fight and he wanted to get the first punch in. And they said, we just came to talk, and he just started throwing hands. Either way, both of them agree that CM Punk was the one who started fighting first. So, Ace Steel, if you're really worried about your wife, maybe not have her around CM Punk. Because he seems to be the common equation in both of those. But Christopher Daniels, Michael Nakazawa, Brandon Cutler, and Pat Buck all have been removed from the suspended list because the investigation has decided that they all were involved with trying to stop the fight rather than participants in the fight. So Pat Buck is back at his job as producer. And Brandon Cutler is available for wrestling, but best friends with the Young Bucks, so who knows. And both Michael Nakazawa and Christopher Daniels made appearances at the THQ Nordic booth.
It would be humorous to see Brandon Cutler come out with his camera and be like, nobody's here.
Make a whole bit during this suspension
where he's like looking for people to video.
Keeps asking someone, "Hey, can I video you?"
Do you need a videographer?
Or just have him come out in his D&D gimmick again.
Mm-hmm.
They missed a boat with the D&D gimmick. I'm gonna tell you what. He was coming out and he had this custom made metal D20 about the size of a grapefruit, right? That he would roll on the ring entrance and then he would go to the ring. And what they missed is basing the result of that match on the success of his roll, right? That would have been a great gimmick to have done. He rolls high, he goes out and he wrestles well and he wins. He rolls low and he goes out and he makes a bunch of mistakes and loses.
Mm-hmm.
And the perfect guy to have him wrestle would have been Orange Cassidy, who would have come out and rolled at the same time.
You could do that, but I mean,
You could have had them roll against each other, and Orange Cassidy's like,
literally anyone be fine because you could play it off as this is all psychological. He rolls bad, therefore he's got a mental block and he starts making mistakes. It's like quicksand, you know. He starts thinking about the bad things, and then more bad things happen, and then more bad things happen, and then he loses. But then when he comes out and he rolls well, then his brain goes, yeah, I'm gonna win, and he's got the confidence to actually win. So you could have it be with almost anyone. You'd still keep him away from the top tier. I'm not saying you throw him out there immediately, have him, you know, go in a match with Kenny Omega, and he happens to roll well, so he gets the win.
Right.
But, you know, you keep him at the same level he was. He's still a lower mid-card wrestler at best. But he can come out and he can wrestle the Fuegos and the Bear Countries and even Christopher Daniels, you know, whatever. And have it just where they basically have 2 matches in mind. I mean, they're calling them on the fly basically anyways. So you basically have the match. Here's the match we're going to go if I do well. Here's the match we're going to do if I do poorly. Right?
Yeah.
I thought that would have been a brilliant gimmick for him to have had as that. So, but the THQ Nordic booth, they had matches all weekend there. And I'm trying to find what all...
I do wish that they gave an amount of time for these suspensions, but I understand that it's indefinite because they don't know what happened yet.
Mm-hmm. They had Takeshita wrestle at the THQ Nordic booth, and that makes me happy because I like Takeshita. Takeshita versus Chris Brooks, Riho versus Hikari Noah, Michael Nakazawa versus Yuki Ucho, and then Christopher Daniels, Takeshita, Yuka Sakazaki, and Ryo Mizunami in a 4-way exhibition match. And I kind of hope they recorded those and there's a way to see them. Maybe AEW Dark or something. I'm trying to think.
That'd be kind of cool. Yeah.
That would be fun.
Hagane Shino also wrestled apparently. I got into it with a guy on Twitter over this.
What?
Facebook. I get into it on Facebook. This guy posted a comment. Let me see if I can bring it up here. On this thing and says, because they said, we have an incredible lineup of talent performing at Tokyo Game Show 2022. And he commented, I see Christopher Daniels on the list. Where's the rest of this so-called incredible talent? And I go, dude, just because we don't see them weekly on American TV doesn't mean they're not talented. I see a ton of Japanese talent that frankly will bring a lot of exposure to AEW with the prominently Japanese audience. Remember, this is the Tokyo Game Show.
Right.
You know, yes, there were probably some American, fans, video game fans there, because it is a big game show for video game fans, right? Not arguing there. But the primary market of that is Japanese people. And so if you want to get Japanese people interested in your American wrestling game, then having some Japanese wrestlers wrestle at the exhibition is a good way to get some eyes on it.
Especially ones that are from Japan.
Yeah. Those people. Japanese wrestlers from Japan.
Oh my God, you people.
Specifically.
You just threw
wrestlers.
out you people.
No. I've said those people, meaning the ones you had just mentioned.
I'm just fucking with you, bud.
But
just fucking with you. I'm gonna say the fuck word until somebody donates to make me stop.
Oh my God.
A good time to mention that our new merch store is up with
Ooh.
limited selection at it right now. Our old merch store isn't going anywhere. You can still go to the merch store. Link is in the doobly doo. Ambrosia has it if she's still awake. But the new merch store, I'm also going to add to the link tree because it is our Stream Elements merch store that is set up with new merch. And the really nice thing is if someone buys from said Stream Elements store, we get a nice little notification. It looks like this.
What? Will a drone actually deliver the merch from that? Because
No, the drone will not deliver. It would be really cool if they did, though. It would be really, really cool if they did.
My household cameras would go crazy.
But there is some limitations of the new merch store.
Gosh darn these limitations.
Yeah, specifically, it doesn't have quite as many options, but I was mentioning to DFA before the stream that's not necessarily a bad thing. Because I found myself sometimes on the Spread Shop merch store a little bit overwhelmed with the options. Like,
Occasionally.
oh, do I want the unisex shirt or the organic unisex shirt or the
Why don't you get a men's
unisex
cut
shirt or the men's cut shirt or the premium men's cut shirt or the there's a lot here. Let me.
Do I want a Sasha Bear or a Sasha Bear mug or a Sasha Bear shirt or a Sasha Bear? Oh wait, you have a Sasha Bear shirt. It's on you right now.
Yep, I'm wearing my Sasha Bear shirt.
I want to know that she's coming back to WWE. There is news that fans are growing weary of not having Sasha and Naomi back.
Mm-hmm.
I actually, because Naomi was with Sasha at the red carpet for the next season of Boba Fett. I think was that what it was for. Anyway,
Yeah,
a Star
She-Hulk.
Wars red carpet.
Or
Whatever. That Naomi was there for her,
Andor or some shit.
I'm almost fearful that this might have been a work, which would be repulsive to all of us.
So on the old merch store, you want a t-shirt. Do you want a men's premium t-shirt, a men's t-shirt, a unisex jersey t-shirt, a fitted cotton poly t-shirt, a 50-50 t-shirt, a men's v-neck t-shirt, a men's ringer t-shirt, or a vintage sports t-shirt, or a tall t-shirt, or a tri-blend unisex, or unisex oversized, or a Hanes adult, or a men's premium organic, or a men's moisture wicking performance shirt, or a unisex stars and stripes shirt, or a unisex tie-dye t-shirt. Those are all the options in just t-shirt, right? And that's a little overwhelming in my book. The new merch store, you have the option of t-shirt or pullover or some other things. I get to choose, but it's at least going to be a little bit more specific to just some options. So, and one of
there
the
will
options,
be no Sasha Bears.
No Sasha Bears.
But if you want it, you go to our other one.
Yep. That, like I said, it's not going anywhere. But we do have the new design on the new merch store. Pulling it up now. The Raw and Order WBU podcast nitpicking pro wrestling since 2019 shirt. Available in a couple really fun, bright colors. And if you're a subscriber, you'll be seeing these right now. And if you're not a subscriber, you may be seeing an ad right now. I don't know. I can't tell.
Which means theoretically, either way, you're seeing an ad right now.
Yeah.
I feel like you would still see that right now anyways, whether ad or no ad, no? We're screen sharing this.
If it goes to ad, you don't see us at all.
No,
if it's
that's
on
fair.
ad.
That's fair.
So, but either way, they are seeing
I really like this mint color.
a bit of an ad.
Yeah.
Mint. You would like that color.
That's shitty.
Orange?
The orange only goes up to 2XL. The other colors go bigger. The red goes all the way up to 5XL. Anyways, they just don't like orange. Haters.
You're just a giant fan of orange.
You are correct there.
Wait, that sounds like I'm calling you my lover.
Yes.
And that's only on particular days of the week. It's corn!
Big
tell you
lump
all
of
about
knobs. It's got the juice.
It's got the juice.
Can't imagine a more beautiful thing. It's corn. I can tell you all about it.
I'm so happy I put that in your head.
I'm gonna tell you, that song always makes me giggle because on TikTok, the people who want to talk about their spicy content, the people who work in the fields that are not exactly legal except for in areas near Las Vegas.
Okay.
Not including Las Vegas itself.
Not including Las Vegas itself, though. Or the people who work in the filmed versions of that. They refer to it as corn to get around TikTok's automatic filtering.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So every time I hear it, the first thing I think about
It's corn.
is this some porn star? It's corn. But then the rest of the lyrics are not the type that I would like to turn on. So.
It's got the juice. It's got the juice. A big lump of knobs. That's not the kind I would watch.
Yeah, that's not high on my list, at least. Let's see. Let's talk WWE. Finn Balor versus Matt Riddle was what it was.
Let's have the real conversation that you're going for. Fucking Logan Paul for the title, huh?
You know, I'm going to have a take that I think you guys will be a little bit surprised with.
You actually like it. Oh my God.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it for this reason. It's on the Crown Jewel show, which I'm not going to be watching anyway, so I don't care. Number one. Number two, let's be honest. We know he's not winning. Right?
Right.
There's no way he's winning. So they're bringing him in. It's going to be a big hyped match. He's better than I expected him to be as a wrestler.
You're right about that, though. Yeah.
I would agree with that.
He's definitely putting in the work as a wrestler, and they're paying him a boatload of money. Might as well put him in a big thing. Now, do I wish WWE had been smarter about building him up and had him wrestle more than, 3 matches? 2 matches? I think he's only done 2 before putting him in a title match.
How about that viral video, though? Oh my God, that was classic. You might be the head of the table, but everything I've done, I've been the table.
I've been the table.
I am the table.
Okay, Stallone on our podcast here. I am
Well, fuck, that's what it sounded like.
Let's see here. 2 matches. However, both of them come down in the win column, so he's officially undefeated in WWE. So, but his last match was back in July, so he's had a couple months to continue training. It wouldn't be what I would want to, the way I would put things together. No, I would build him up with a bunch of other matches, put him in a couple programs, with some, for lack of a better term, good hands.
Couple matches against the Uso brothers and Sammy may be coming up though, so that might help.
Yeah, I would, yeah, and that's the deal. We've got a few weeks before Crown Jewel, anyways. But like, yeah, I would have put him in with some matches. I would have had him have some exhibition matches, not program matches directly, but exhibition against like Dolph Ziggler, who can pull a decent match out of almost anybody. Finn Balor, you can have him come out and rescue someone from the Judgment Day, and then he has a match, and just a short one-off sort of a thing. Try to think, Seth Rollins can pull a good match out of almost anybody. Johnny Gargano. The only reason I don't think they do Johnny Gargano is he's just back, and they don't want to have him immediately lose to a Logan Paul. But I don't think Logan Paul has to even win all these matches. I think he just has to look good in them.
No, in fact,
he
could technically lose them all if you're going to have him win the title. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's going to win the title.
No, he's not going to win the title.
Suggesting he's winning the title.
Reports have it that they're conflicted backstage because they don't want Roman to lose until WrestleMania, but they also want there to be a champion on Raw.
Oh, on Raw.
And so what do? And my thoughts are about the only way you really do it. Either you have him stripped of the title due to some BS rule, like, hey, you haven't defended specifically the Raw Championship in X number of days.
Yeah, well, and you can even have the gentle come up and, hey, I need to know which title you were defending against Drew.
Yeah. Something like that.
Or the Undisputed Championships.
The easiest way, in my opinion, is you book him in a unfair match that's a two falls match. First fall is for the Universal Championship. Second fall is for the WWE Championship, or vice versa, whatever. And then you have it be a triple threat. And so someone wins the WWE Championship by pinning the other person in a way that Roman wasn't involved with whatsoever. And then Roman can come in and be angry that he lost one of his belts and, destroy the other person and pin both of them at the end. But he only wins the Universal belt. Because he's already lost the other one, and then he can feel like it got taken from me unfairly, and he can have that whole thing, and now you've got two champions, and he still hasn't been pinned. He still never lost. I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I think you could do it that way for sure.
Yeah, I don't think that hurts anything.
No.
However, if it's about WrestleMania, there is still the rumors and still the goal. I mean,
yep.
We saw the interview.
But,
but
again,
Tripp said himself, if you can get that guy,
but
it's probably
the other side of the coin is, if you can get that guy, you don't need the championships to be involved for that to be a marquee match, right?
That's true too.
That match sells itself. If that can happen, I'm still not convinced it will, but if that ends up happening, it'll sell with no belts involved at all. Right? And so you don't need it to be for a championship. In fact, it probably actually sells better without it being for a championship, because you have it be for the head of the table. Sure. This is that guy saying, nope, I am the tribal chief, not you. And he could be like, bro, you left for Hollywood, bruh.
You just
Bruh.
You just bread.
I just bread. Yeah.
Bruh.
Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah lost the tag championships after having them for 2 weeks. To the people they beat for them in the finals, Dakota Kai and Io Sky, which makes me wonder whether, because I thought the plan was that this would be building up for Sasha and Naomi coming back and coming, and so either they are coming back and they wanted the match to end up being Dakota Kai and Io Sky versus Sasha and Naomi, or they're not coming back as soon as they thought they were going to, and so they put the belts on the wrong people for a short period of time, and now they're on the right people. They're fixing course correcting. Either way, they're on the right people now. I just feel a little bit bad.
I just don't know what. Yeah,
had the belt for a couple weeks for no reason.
Yeah, I still don't kind of know the reason. I was still trying to like figure out. Okay, so if they weren't going to show up at,
well, it would seem that it was so that Big Mommy Cool can have her match with Bailey, based on some of the action this week.
No, but that's fine. What does that have to do with the tag team? Maybe because you
they
wanted
could have
a
set
match
that up
for the.
They could have set that up at the first finish.
I understand. I mean? I'm just giving you.
That's why I say this feels like it was a course correction. That they had a plan for Sasha and Naomi to show up at the pay-per-view, and when that fell through, now they're course correcting to put it on the people that they really wanted it on anyways.
From the get-go.
Johnny Gargano wrestled for the first time in 9 months against Chad Gable. That was a pretty good opponent to put him with.
That was a fun match.
Good mix of styles. Of course, Austin Theory came in afterwards. And
he was ferocious. Ha!
That was a good one.
Bianca Belair issued an open challenge. Whoever can come out, and it was Sonya Deville, and Bianca Belair destroyed Sonya Deville. It was what it was. I don't know.
Yeah. Some of the stuff does seem a little bit lost in WWE right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do I get out of this program into the next one?
Well,
I don't care for Braun destroying everybody and their dog. However, I'm kind of excited that Braun's back. Yeah. It's just, you had him destroy Alpha Academy. You had him take World's Strongest Slam from Otis. Like it was nothing. Just like, whatever.
Yeah.
And I understand you're building up a giant, but build him up, again, we talked about this earlier, build him up with maybe less.
They had him show up when he first came back on Raw and destroy a 4-way tag team match. Like, destroy everyone. Take out their entire tag division, why don't you? Omos is back. Why you didn't put Omos and Braun on the same roster so you could have
Giant versus Giant?
Yeah, Giant versus Giant, 2 giant meaty men slapping meat.
I don't know that they believe that they know Braun can carry a match. I just don't think they think he can carry Omos in a match.
Dexter Lumis is also still targeting The Miz.
Dexter Lumis is a fantastic actor at being creepy, and maybe he's naturally creepy. I don't know.
I you know what I think helps it? The bleach blonde hair and the brown mustache. I think that look just inherently looks creepy.
And with his fucked up eyes, I think his eyes really just sell it just that much more too. Like it's great. It's fantastic.
You're giving me the heebs.
Dominic lost to Edge because of disqualification because, Judgment Day.
Mm.
They had the backstage segment earlier where Dominic's talking and Rhea Ripley's just whispering into his ear.
Whispering
I'm a
sweet
man now,
nothings,
Dad.
might add you.
Yeah.
I deeply enjoyed the "I'm a man now, Dad."
I'm a man now, Dad. Wait for someone to tell me what to say next. On SmackDown, you had Logan Paul announcing that he's back, and then, of course, that's what led to the official announcement for Crown Jewel. Ricochet versus Sami Zayn, where Ricochet won.
Damn straight.
Yeah, how do you feel about that? There, JLB. I mean,
Well,
your guy loses or your guy loses. One of the two.
I know, but I'm always happy for Ricochet regardless. Either way, though, Sammy's work is freaking fantastic. Just the fact, this is where we also help Sakai keep the title too, right? Against Madcap Moss, which, by the way, pretty freaking good match. This match made Madcap look freaking fantastic.
This was just a
As
singles
well.
match between Sami Zayn and...
No, I'm saying for the match later on. For the match later on. This was on SmackDown, correct?
Oh, yeah. But yeah, no, but I'm talking about Ricochet versus... And so specifically that match, you know.
Yeah, but didn't the Usos kind of fuck around with that? So I think that's why I was kind of like, oh, okay, you're telling a story. Fine. No? Am I not correct on that? Didn't the Usos kind of get involved on that? Either way, don't have to check it. But
They may have, but they weren't involved in the finish, really. I mean, he wiped them both out, and then he hit the shooting star press for the win. And so...
that's fair.
But then you had Braun Strowman come out and beat up on Maximum Male Models.
They deserve better.
They really do. I don't know what the
It's-
fuck that was about.
Yeah. When you bring back a monster, you have them destroy all the people you've spent time building up.
I mean,
Raquel
that's
Rodriguez
the problem,
versus
is
Bayley
you
was
built
then up
somebody
next.
up.
Yeah. But then you had Raquel Rodriguez versus Bayley, which, like you say, I think is setting up a bigger program. They're gonna try to build up.
Well,
Big Mama
I mean, at the end of the day, we're all pretty sure that Raquel's being built to be a women's champion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which I'm
So
really
no
excited
win.
for.
I was confused with the concept of the NXT North American Championship being defended on SmackDown. But
Right? Yeah, but a great match though. I found that match to be pretty freaking awesome.
Madcap Moss is not nearly as bad as he once was. About the biggest problem is he just kind of has no character now.
No, he's just very generic. He's
Without
generic as
Baron Corbin to oppose him, so
Yeah.
to say.
Give him something. And then finally, you had the Fatal 4-Way #1 contenders tag match. Hit Row versus Imperium versus New Day versus Brawling Brutes.
Hit Row though with the surprise craziness. Freaking Top Dollar just carrying everybody on his back. This to me was a really surprising fun match, and everybody did pretty good, including really impressed with Hit Row, especially, and Imperium obviously are always great. So
Yeah. Brawling Brutes got the win there. So they're the new #1 contenders. I hate that name still. Really do.
yeah, Brawling Brutes is very weird.
You just call them the Brute. The Brute Squad. Whatever, you know. But
Oh Jesus! I
Brawling
think the
Brutes
Brute Squad is
dumb.
better. The Brute Squad, yeah.
The thing is, Brute Squad actually has a historical reference. They called the group of just big thugs that the royalty would hire to go out and control crowds by beating people up who got out of the way, like effectively SWAT team in the medieval, the Brute Squad, right? They would be the brutes that were sent out to beat up on people.
Fair.
And so Brute Squad, but brawling brutes, it doesn't roll off the tongue. It kind of in your mouth, and so it's hard to always say. Anyways, but AEW's week was actually surprisingly good, all in all.
Well, it's
Not
their
as
best
good as
show,
last week's.
but it was their best show of AEW Dynamite viewership wise.
In terms of ratings, it was definitely their best show, yes. But so
with
Moxley
no
versus
books.
Sammy Guevara started off the night. Was I surprised with the ending? No. Do I wish they would have given Sammy the win? I'm not saying they give him the belt in the end, but I think this would have been a big win for Sammy Guevara to test the waters. But Moxley got the win.
Well, and my assumption is they're trying to tell a story of Blackpool Combat Club there.
Yeah. And more specifically, I think they want to give
MJF and Moxley too, though.
There's that too.
That's what they're going to lead to.
I think I'm gonna go on the record saying I think Danielson's gonna win. I think Danielson's gonna win and lead to a period because I think Moxley's gonna take some time off. He was supposed to be leaving on a 6-week vacation. And then he came back for this. I think they're gonna give him at least 4 weeks of his 6-week vacation. You know what I mean? Or maybe a 6-week vacation the rest of the year. I think this is where you put it on Bryan Danielson. You let him carry it for a while. Danielson versus MJF would be fire down the road. But the thing is, I don't think MJF is going to cash in right away. I think the whole concept, MJF's going to wait until he sees a weakness that he can cash in on. Speaking of MJF, he came out and gave a promo where he introduced the Stokely Hathaway's group as the Firm. Specifically, he said the first stable on retainer, which implies that they're for hire. Which I'd like to point out that wasn't the Prestige or the Pinnacle. Wasn't that a stable on retainer too? I digress.
No, I think he was technically part of the Pinnacle, though. He's the one that created it. He was still the leader. The other one was more which I really enjoyed how they made that a thing. He's just a stable on retainer. They were good friends way back when. So that was dope.
Not to be that guy who's semantics, but
you're always that guy.
The whole point of the Pinnacle was I'm paying you guys. That is the definition of on retainer.
Yeah, but he wouldn't do that with the Pinnacle, technically, though. He would do that like with FTR from...
who were in the Pinnacle.
No, who were in What's-His-Face's group.
And then they were in the Pinnacle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then Wardlow was in the Pinnacle, and you're my boy, you work for me. And Shawn Spears was in the Pinnacle and worked for MJF. That was the whole point. I'm just pointing out we've had a stable on retainer before. I am excited for this stable on retainer. I thought one of my favorite moments from this was Stokely Hathaway going around and introducing each one of them, and he introduced M. Morrissey, and he gave him a hug. And M. Morrissey just kind of stood there, like, totally stone-faced. I don't know why this guy's hugging me. Whatever. It's one of my favorite things. Jungle Boy said he had a open contract match, and Jay Lethal came out and lost to the snare trap.
Good.
Here's a moment I want to talk about from AEW. Luigi Primo.
Yeah. Is he all elite now? Or is
I do not know if he's officially signed to a contract. I do know that it is driving some people nuts in the wrestling fandom because
I think he's fucking hilarious.
I think he's hilarious, but it's driving people nuts because both Miro and who else was it? A bunch of people tweeted out things like, I'm trying to get on TV and you give airtime to Luigi Primo or whatever. Now, I'm going to go on record. I think every single one of those tweets from a wrestler acting angry that Luigi Primo's on TV was all a work. It's all storyline. It's all kayfabe, right? Because the whole gimmick was he was on screen for like 3 seconds and then he got kicked in the face by Ethan Page. That
He's
was
not
the
even
whole
supposed to
joke.
be here.
Yeah. That was the whole joke. He comes out and he just gets annihilated right off the bat. And then Ethan Page does his promo where he says, "Hey, I'm I want to be taken serious. I'm tired of people joking around." Which again, part of the joke. Miro saying, "You put this Joker on TV and you don't put me on TV." That's part of the joke. That's exactly what Ethan Page is. And then Danhausen came out to talk to Ego about his match that was on Dark, and Ethan Page said he's going to make an example. Said if I want to show that I'm the what is, I can't even remember what word he looked, the master of All Atlantic, that I should take out the Joker of AEW. And then walked away, and Danhausen was like, "Yes, you'll take out the Joker," and then looked confused for a bit.
Why am I not knowing this Primo guy? Who's this Primo guy?
Luigi Primo,
You keep saying
wrestling's
his
premier
Indie circuit
pizza
guy.
guy.
I think I missed this on Dynamite.
Well, it doesn't take very long to have missed it. It was
Just blink.
Oh shit! It's Luigi, like Luigi, Primo, Primo.
Yep. Yeah. He's a pizza guy. How did you not see this?
I mean, apparently it was really quick.
It's on all the media, the socials.
yes.
Who's the first in the world of wrestling and pizza making? Oh, there you go. Okay, 24-second segment.
Yeah, and 20 seconds of it is post kick where he's out. He's not even on screen anymore. He says,
"Oh
"Hey."
Jesus!"
Says, "Hey, it's Luigi Primo," and then just gets kicked right in the face.
You haven't seen any of his stuff. It's freaking hilarious. I had to watch like 6 matches of his just to make sure that it wasn't real pizza dough. I was like, why? That's horrible. No real pizza dough.
He even got interviewed on Fox News.
That's the one I was just looking at. Oh, that's hilarious.
He's pro wrestling's premier pizza maker.
Ooh, Luigi Primo versus Gregory Iron pizza death match. It's 2 years ago.
Iron.
Oh,
So-
I do see that
Iron.
Jim Cornette did 10.5 minutes on Luigi Primo, and
Luigi Primo.
I'm relatively certain that that's
Why does that not surprise me?
an entire fucking 10 minutes of this guy's ruining the business. Anyways, I thought it was hilarious, and it was hilarious. If you watch it again, Luigi's sell of that kick was just great. He's like just out. Dead. I laughed so hard at it.
He's been wrestling for a hot minute, though.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He's pro wrestling's premier pizza making wrestler. He's got some legitimate pizza tossing skills too. I mean,
Or at least, pizza shaped chamois.
yeah. Well, that's what competitive pizza tossers use. Which I didn't know if you knew, but there's competitive pizza tossing. Like
Tournaments?
fucking ESPN Ocho shit. You know,
ESPN Ocho.
Ocho shit.
ESPN 8, the Ocho.
fucking competitive pizza tossing. Anyways,
It
Matt
sounded
Hardy,
like you
Darby,
said competitive pea tossing there for a second.
pea tossing. That's a different channel altogether.
Altogether.
Matt Hardy challenged Darby Allin for a match on Rampage. Powerhouse Hobbs beat up some nobody. Ricky Starks then came out and, beat up on Hobbs and, effectively that ain't over. And then Lucha Brothers versus Swerve in Our Glory. Of course. Swerve in Our Glory won because they're not going to take the belts off of.
Well, they did mention it was for winner faces the Acclaim next week, but of course they weren't going to.
No, they mentioned whoever won was going to face the Acclaim next week, but it was a World Tag Team Championship match, so they weren't going to move the belt from Swerve in Our Glory to Lucha Brothers right before their big rematch, sort of a thing. So, anyways,
right.
What my other favorite segment of the night on Dynamite, Alex Marvez backstage again. Alex Marvez was part of both of my favorite moments. Trying to get an interview with Death Triangle, and Pac stops to talk for a second and talk about how great he is and how he's the first double champ in AEW. And out of nowhere, an Orange Punch takes Pac out, and then Orange Cassidy says he won't be double champ for long, and then leaves. But just out of nowhere, just laid him out. I thought that was great.
Yeah, no, that worked, and that sold it for next. I think it's next Rampage they're gonna fight. So,
yeah, and then you had a women's tag match: Toni Storm and Athena versus Serena Deeb and Britt Baker. A lot of this was the whole "can they get along" sort of a storyline, and then after the match, there was a whole Jamie Hayter showing up and. Hitting Athena with the steel chair, but not helping Britt Baker. And when Britt Baker says, "I'm sorry," Jamie Hayter walked off. So that's building to that match here in the future. And then finally, the Wizard Chris Jericho versus the American Dragon Bryan Danielson, which ended with Bryan Danielson tapping Jericho out. And so the match is officially going to be Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson, which is what I expected. I think to me, the more interesting match would have been Sammy Guevara versus Bryan Danielson. But either way. And, like I said, I'm on the record now saying I think Bryan Danielson's going to win.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm wrong, then next week you'll say, "You thought Bryan Danielson was going to win." And I'll say, "You're right, I did."
I'm going to go ahead and go on the record of saying we probably won't give that many shits.
Oh, snap. Well, I won't. I'll be in Mexico. Yeah. Jesus, that was loud. I won't. I'll be in Mexico. So
this motherfucker doesn't care so much that he's going to go to another fucking country to avoid talking about it.
Yeah, straight up facts.
But on Rampage, Darby Allin versus Matt Hardy. Darby Allin won. But after the match, the House of Black came out with, I think they've kind of transitioned to Julia Hart kind of calling the shots. Not as a leader, but just kind of as a ringleader, maybe. I don't know if that's the best word for it. An instigator. Where she's just like, yeah, do this, do that. Anyways, they came out and they hit Matt Hardy with a lariat and then held him over the edge in the chokehold and challenged Darby and Sting to a match next week. No DQ match. And when they hesitated, Julia Hart just pulled Matt Hardy's feet off the apron, so that now he's just hanging by his neck like they did with Darby Allin. That move looks so fucking sick.
Yeah.
And they're just hanging by their head. Anyways. They had Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta in the ring and getting interviewed because Wheeler Yuta lost the Pure Championship, and this is Claudio trying to build him back up, make him better. You'll get back the championship. And then Chris Jericho interrupted and challenged Claudio. So we're going to have Claudio versus Chris Jericho next week. And, you know, I'm interested to see how those styles match up. I don't think Chris Jericho can be quite as technical as Claudio can be. So, I don't know.
Yeah, that's gonna be totally different styles, but I think it'll be fun. It'll definitely be fun. And Jericho's obviously not winning, though. As much as I would like to see Jericho put that on his resume and get that out show, no, not gonna happen.
You're right.
He's not winning, but
Not
if he does,
gonna-
though, pretty surprising. I would just hate it for Claudio.
So I hope he's not gonna win this here.
Naina.
Yeah, how hard is it to say? Jade Cargill backstage with the baddies, and then Diamante came up and challenged Jade to a match next week, saying she's going to show up with the baddest bitch from the 305. Led to a lot of speculation. Who could it be? I'm going to go on record right now saying I think I know who it's going to be, and if it is the person that I think it's going to be, everyone's going to be real disappointed because people are throwing out all sorts of other names of, ooh, this big star is going to come, this big champion, this whatever, Sasha Banks is going to show up or whatever.
Oh, it has to be from Miami. Sasha ain't from Miami, so not Miami.
I agree, but people are throwing shit out like that. But
like, who the hell's from Miami that we know?
The Rock.
I mean, aside from The Rock, because it has to be a woman. So Rock is out
Why does it have to be a woman?
because she said, "I'm bringing the baddest." I mean, granted, they just said she, because I think she mentioned she in the segment, so it has to be a she.
well, yeah, the baddest bitch from the 305. It's definitely.
I mean, who's to say? I mean, what are you saying? Just all she's are bitches now? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're alluding to?
It's for the TBS championship. It's definitely a woman. Don't fucking.
I don't think it's a woman.
I think it's gonna be Evilise. That's who I really think it's gonna be.
That'll put butts in seats. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, that was good. That was good. But I mean,
I think
it just won't.
I mean, Evilise claims to be from Puerto Rico. That's where she's from, right? So she's not from Miami. But that doesn't. Again, I don't think that means anything. It just means she could be living in Miami, right?
Right.
I think it's gonna be Evilise. They've been partners before. They're in fact, yeah. I mean, I don't think there's a chance it's not her.
Wow.
I'm
Going
that
all in on Evilise.
And there's another reason, right? Evilise left AEW because she couldn't get along with
Cody.
fuck it, no.
See
Former
if I-
women's champ of
Thunder Rosa.
Thunder Rosa. Couldn't get along with Thunder Rosa. Right? Thunder Rosa ain't there right now. I think that's why she comes back. I don't think she's going to stay for long. I think it's going to be a 1 or 2 and done sort of thing, but that's who I think it's probably going to be. The only other potential might be, I'm totally blanking on her name right now. But the reason that this might be, and let me see if I can pull up a profile and see. Yeah, she doesn't have a connection with Miami, but that doesn't mean she's not. Oh, this might be. This is the other option that it might be. Paige Van Zandt.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Who lives and wrestles out of Coconut Creek, Florida. Which is not a 305 area code, but it's still fucking Florida. So
close enough.
Close enough for government work, right?
Right. Yep.
So, anyways, Willow Nightingale versus Penelope Ford was up next, and Penelope won. I wish they would give Willow Nightingale some wins, but you just brought Penelope Ford back. You want to give her some wins. I get it. Danhausen did not last long versus Ethan Page, which is fine. I don't think Danhausen needs to win.
No, that's not the story to Danhausen.
Yeah, and there I go, shaking my camera.
Did you see his edited Batman thing that he did?
Yeah.
Skit? That's hilarious. No, I just want the monies.
It was really funny, though, at the beginning. He looked like he was going to curse Ethan Page. And then he stopped and did the Ethan Page smile. And that just pissed Ethan Page off. And they just destroyed him. So, and then you had Samoa Joe versus Josh Woods in the main event for the Ring of Honor television title. And I don't have a lot of experience with Josh Woods, right?
But he looked good, fucking great.
Yeah. He looked pretty fucking good, so I had no complaints there.
And it's great to see Joe back. I mean, fuck.
About the only thing is, I will say Joe looked a little winded towards the end. Not that he shouldn't have been. It was a fucking intense match and everything, but I was just like, it looks to me like he hasn't wrestled in a while, and it showed. You know what I mean? But otherwise, I thought it was a good week for wrestling as a whole. I'm not as frustrated with the Logan Paul situation as some people are. Like, it's, to be perfectly honest, I could see this being one of those matches that was requested by those in charge in Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? The Crown Prince saying, "Hey, we need a marquee match. Who do you got?" And they say, "Well, we got Logan Paul. He can wrestle against Roman Reigns. Logan Paul is a big name." And they go, "Okay, cool."
Well, I mean, and then I was kind of like, will they care about Logan Paul, though? Just because, okay, I get it. Yeah, obviously, they... And then I thought, okay, right, Logan did fight Mayweather. That was probably a huge thing in Saudi Arabia.
Jake fought Mayweather.
No, Logan fought Mayweather. It was Logan who fought Mayweather. Jake was the one that took his hat. Yeah, Jake was the one that took his hat, Mayweather's hat, but Logan was the one that fought Mayweather. Jake was the one that fought the MMA fighter there. Not Jones. Tyrone Woodley. But Logan was the one that fought Mayweather. Yes, sir. I watched it live.
Okay, I'm giving it to you.
All right, perfect. But that was my only thing. But I guess, it's enough for the Saudi Prince. Everyone will seem to know what it is. And honestly, I don't mind it either. A lot of fans have been really upset a lot of fans. A lot of people I talk to were all like, "Oh, this is Triple H's like worst move ever," and I'm just like, guys, it's for the Crown Jewel show. Like, who gives a shit? Anything that happens at Crown Jewel is not storyline at all. We might see little
Crown Jewel stays at Crown
stays in
Jewel.
Crown Jewel. Exactly. Fuck Vegas. This is all about Crown Jewel right now.
What happens in Saudi Arabia stays in. That's not a good thing for anybody.
No, that's fair. That's why we say Crown Jewel. We say the pay-per-view specifically, not Saudi Arabia. What happens in Saudi Arabia that's bad, we need to know about. What happens in Crown Jewel, just leave it in Crown Jewel. Yeah, and I just don't mind for that fact because, and this also honestly protects any other wrestler from going against Roman Reigns for a championship. So put Logan Paul there, and then all will be good. Logan will get, a few moves on him or whatever. He obviously won't win. If he wins, then I think I might be a little bit more pissed. Just because why would you ruin the tribal chief like that? You got to have a big ass guy to be dominating.
Got no fucking
Roman.
chance of winning.
No chance of winning. I'm almost kind of excited if he does win for our podcast the following on the following Sunday. Like that's gonna be freaking epic.
So wait, does that WBU pay-per-views in October?
No, that's November. There is October 8th is Extreme Rules, and November 5th is Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
So Roman probably isn't fighting at Extreme Rules, but we are going to get Karrion Kross versus Drew, so that maybe might be the main event. Yeah, but honestly, if Roman isn't going to
promo, I tried to do tick and talk between each word. That is not an easy thing to do, screen or not.
Oh, there was also, speaking of Karrion Kross, on SmackDown, they did play the White Rabbit song by Jefferson Jet, I think their name is called.
Jefferson Airship.
Oh,
or Starship, I can't remember.
Fair. So they did play that, and a lot of people had speculations. They played it on a commercial during SmackDown with red lighting and all that. Some people are saying it's Bray Wyatt, but then other people were like, no, hey, he was called the White Rabbit back in Lucha Underground. So they're just saying that's probably going to be either just part of Karrion Kross's new entrance or just for that one-time spectacle at maybe, I would have thought maybe for Crown Jewel, because WWE is going to get a shit ton of money. And if you're going to get that song, you can definitely get it when you do it at Crown Jewel. So it would make sense for it to be at Crown Jewel, Karrion Kross versus Drew. But I honestly do see that happening sooner rather than later at Extreme Rules. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I agree. I don't think it's Bray. I think, frankly, if Bray shows up, I think they're going to have him be a surprise. It's just going to be.
Like, you don't need to show anything on a SmackDown just to see if shit works. Why would you do it with a crowd there on top of that? Just do it before fucking people are allowed in the building. Come on now. One job. But it's Triple H stirring stuff. That's what he does. He's a PR guy now, too. So, he's good at PR.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the thing. Everyone went nuts for that. Oh my goodness, he played White Rabbit. Oh jeez. Oh God, what's going on?
Oh Jesus. Your mimicking of the wrestling universe out there is always quite fascinating.
Oh, that's the thing we need to at least discuss a bit. Just saw the article about it from earlier. The reports, the rumors that Warner Brothers Discovery and NBC Universal may be in talks to do a merger.
The real forbidden door, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. So here's the deal. we talked about whether at one point whether the Warner Brothers Discovery merger was bad for AEW, and I don't think it was bad for AEW. Right? This would be bad for AEW. This would be 100% bad for AEW. If they merge, NBC Universal is going to back WWE, right?
Right.
They're the ones who get the better ratings. We can talk all we want about how AEW's ratings are better than NXT and how they're improving 1.2 million. But 1.2 million is importantly not 2 million, which is what Raw and SmackDown basically average now.
Right.
And so this merger happens. It's a bad thing for AEW. It's not going to be suddenly Forbidden Door 2.0. Now there's cross promotion on it whatsoever. They're going to talk about no. The merged group will take a side, and they will side with the one that earns them the most money.
Right.
And so,
unless they decide to keep both. Because if you're going to merge 3 big-ass companies like that, or 2, or with already 2 of them already merged, like, you also do have still a lot of cable channels that you have to fill.
No,
and
the
getting
thing is,
profits from both.
They're not going to immediately cut AEW. I'm not saying that's going to be the thing. But what is going to happen is one's going to get priority, right? One's going to get all of the promos. One's going to get all of the publicity. Right now, Warner Brothers Discovery is putting out press releases every week touting AEW's ratings, right? That won't happen if this merger happens, right? The promotional things touting ratings are going to be on Raw and SmackDown every week. That's it. And so, when focus gets taken away and split, it's going to end up on WWE. What will happen is AEW will start shopping for a different partner, right? But it means there won't be a streaming deal for AEW. If they're negotiating right now with HBO Max for a streaming deal, but this merger goes through, HBO Max and Discovery are going to merge with Peacock, and there's not going to be a AEW tab on Peacock right next to the WWE tab. That's not going to happen. So no streaming deal. And because of that, they wouldn't be able to negotiate with Disney to be streaming on their site because, I'm sorry, you've got an exclusivity deal with us. Right? So it'd be bad for AEW all around if that happens. And I don't want it to happen. I also think going outside of the wrestling realm, it would be bad for us consumers. There comes a point with mergers that it starts to hurt competition so much that it makes things worse just all around. And this is one of those ways, right? If your only choice to watch streaming is to pay for an NBC Universal app, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to hurt things in the long run. So I'm already a little bit frustrated with the Warner Brothers Discovery because their reports have it they're putting focus on Discovery instead of HBO Max. HBO Max has the best user interface of all of the streaming apps.
Oh, really? I've never. I can't use it.
It's
great.
Is absolutely fantastic. And I haven't played with Discovery, but all reports I've had is its interface is garbage. And to take the priority away from HBO Max and put it on Discovery and merge HBO Max into Discovery versus the other way around, I think hurts HBO Max, who is a legitimate competitor with Disney Plus.
Right.
And I think it takes them a step back and maybe into the point where they're not even a competitor with Disney Plus anymore. And I think that's bad for us as well. So, but whatever. I don't get a choice.
No, exactly.
I don't get control here. So,
Wait, you're not the one with control over this?
nope, I ain't got no control.
Damn.
They
and
don't
he
come to me.
finally admits it.
But was there anything else you guys wanted to talk about while we're here?
While we're here. No, I mean, I think we kind of covered everything, really. Yeah, I mean, I saw it, but no one really truly reported it, like confirmation. But it looks like CM Punk might be in talks to legit sue AEW, but again, it's not by a true source yet. So I don't know. It could have been any Joe Blow saying it.
I don't think he has
grounds?
grounds to sue as of yet.
Well, that's it. They didn't go into even detail on that. So I'm like, this is like just
because he hasn't even been officially suspended by AEW. So what is he suing? Right? He's injured. He can't wrestle. He's not ready, willing, and able to wrestle. He can't even collect unemployment based on this.
right.
Because he doesn't. I'm just saying there's standards for unemployment. You have to be ready, willing, and able. Right? So if you're injured, you are not able.
Right.
Therefore, you don't qualify for an unemployment. He is not ready, willing, and able. So even if he were to try to say, "Oh, they're depriving me of income by suspending me," their response back is, "You can't wrestle. You're injured.
Right.
You can't wrestle." So what is he going to sue for there? And on top of that, I guarantee you, Tony Khan, he comes from a pro football background and a soccer professional European football background.
Mm-hmm.
Their contracts have clauses in them that allow suspensions.
Yeah, I would for sure. I'd imagine that. Absolutely.
So I don't think he's got a fucking leg to stand on to sue. Right?
Right.
On top of it, right? I'm gonna point out he hasn't shown to be sue heavy in the past. Of all of the things Chicago Phil has done, he has not shown to be sue heavy. Right?
Well, I mean,
he didn't file the lawsuit against WWE. They filed the lawsuit against him. He countersued.
Oh, right? Snap. Okay, right. That's true.
He didn't file
also
the lawsuit.
Not a wise decision when you threw the first punch.
Yeah. He didn't file the lawsuit against Colt Cabana. He countersued after Colt Cabana sued him. Right? So he hasn't shown a history of suing, of being the aggravating suer. He's only, in the history that we've seen, been retaliatory suing. Right?
Fair.
But also, like DFA mentioned, you threw the first punch, man. So, regardless of what you think you can sue about, you threw the first punch.
The first punch.
Right?
Right.
If this goes to a court, the elites are going to come in and they're going to say their side of the story. You said in the interview, if you have a problem, come talk to me. And we came to your door and knocked on your door like you told us to. And then you attacked us.
Sounds to me like you picked a fight with us.
That's a pretty open and shut case. I don't know many judges who would look at that and go, I don't know. We should take this all the way to trial.
Oh, there's something there.
There's something there. We should. So, I don't think he's got a leg to stand on for filing a lawsuit. Period. But if he wants to sue, here's the deal. Tony Khan has said it. He's got more money than him.
Right. I still can't believe out of all that scrum, that him mentioning like, oh, I got a lot of fucking money. Let's go. You know what I mean? I'm surprised that, well, obviously there was so much CM Punk shit though. But I was like, oh, Tony, this comment looks so egotistical of you. Yes, you do, but oh my God. But, you know, I guess it's facts, so what can you do?
Yeah.
WWE content to get pulled from Hulu Saturday. Deal set to expire. I didn't even know they were on WWE on Hulu.
If it's been a while since I've had Hulu, so but if I remember correctly, they had a deal where Raws and SmackDowns were posted in abbreviated form.
Okay.
Like
For the next
7
day's
days
Raw
later.
and SmackDown. No, apparently the next day. Apparently,
Was it next day? I don't know.
Wow,
It was
nice.
but it was abbreviated. It was like SmackDown was edited down to like 45 minutes.
Oh Jesus! Okay.
And Raw was like an hour and a half or something like that. I mean, it was really shortened. And fucking nobody liked it anyways. And if you can get it on Peacock,
Tell us what you actually think about it.
I actually don't know. Can you watch Raw and SmackDown on Peacock like next day, or is it like delayed by a couple weeks?
It's delayed by a few weeks.
That doesn't surprise me.
Even the network, I don't even think I can either. It's still like it's definitely delayed by a few weeks as well.
I think the television networks want an exclusivity phase for
what though?
For first run viewing. I don't know, same reason Twitch wants an exclusivity phase.
No, I know, but I mean in terms of, okay, I guess maybe on your video on demand, but I don't even know if you put them on your VOD for a hot minute or not. But you generally don't do replays except on the same night. So I don't get why they need them after a day.
Which is why they want the exclusivity, because they say if you want to watch this anywhere within the first week, you have to either DVR it or watch it live. Therefore, you're seeing our advertisement. We're making the money off of you, and you count towards live viewing for ratings. Right?
Ratings? What do those do?
What are these?
Oh, they make money.
Because, wow, man, it is still far behind, at least on the network. The latest, most recent Raw I have is August 15th.
Yeah, so that's
2 weeks.
A
3
month.
weeks. A month. Yeah.
So yeah, but that's my point is they want those live view ratings, right? That's what they want. That's their main thing. And DVRs count towards live views now.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Like a live viewing now, that's why it takes a full day for the things. They call it live and next day, meaning on demand, right? So they want those ratings all to themselves. They don't want you know going off to Hulu and watching it there, which is why it sucks on Hulu.
Right.
Fucking hate Hulu. I really do. My wife's making us resubscribe to it for the fucking Handmaid's Tale show. She loves that shit.
Blink 3 times if you're being held hostage and forced to watch it. Blink
actually,
time if you're okay with that because you love your wife.
Actually, to be perfectly honest, she doesn't make me watch it. She watches it usually when I'm watching something else or up here fucking with my computer or shit like that. So I don't.
You have one of those attached to your computer?
No. I mean, it's just a small computer. I don't need too much. USB port's fine. I mean, what? Technically, I have 2 computers right now. I have an old computer sitting right next to my new one.
Mr. Fancy Pants.
Well, I've been transferring information over, but then I realized I didn't have to transfer information
Fancy Pants
over.
with corn.
I can just have it as a network drive that I can pull from whenever I want to.
Oh, look at you, Mr. Fancy Pants again.
So I just have old Mac.
Nerd.
Nerd.
But it's great. Nerd.
But, anywho's. Yeah, no, I hate Hulu. I'm glad we got rid of it, but now she's like, oh, you got to get it back. And I'm like, fine. It's too expensive. And it's fucking with ads still. You pay money and you still have fucking ads.
That's like cable.
Yeah, I hate cable. I got rid of cable. That's the whole point. I don't like fucking ads anymore. Unless they're ads on our show, at which point you watch them.
Or you don't, you subscribe, and you don't have to watch them. Kind of like what Hulu should do when you're subscribing to something. You don't get freaking ads. Except Netflix is now doing that. You can subscribe to them for less, and they'll show you ads because they're losing a shit ton of coin.
I get my Netflix paid for by my cell phone provider, so.
Oh. Look at you, Fancy Pants. I just get IPTV because fuck everyone.
I'm about to get Paramount Plus paid for by my cell phone provider, too.
Look at you. Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I send them enough money every month. Might as well get some free shit out of it, too. Anyways. But yeah, I think we've kind of reached the end of shit to talk about. I don't know. Do you guys have anything else you want to specifically talk about?
No.
Well, then that will bring us to the end.
Oh, snap. Maybe last little thing. Kenny Omega now is unable to appear at AAA because of his suspension as well. So let's add that to the things that Kenny Omega cannot do.
Yep. Shouldn't have gotten bit by Ace Steel.
Yeah. You shouldn't have went there with the buckos.
I still say the one thing from both reports that I believe more than anything in the world is that Kenny Omega was more concerned with saving the dog than actually being in the fight. That's the most Kenny Omega thing I think I've ever heard in my life. They're like, oh, there's a fight breaking out. Better take care of this dog. It might get scared. So, anyways. We will go ahead and close the book on the wrestling booking unit. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you joined us for the live stream. Thank you. If you are watching this on replay, we are exclusive to Twitch for the live stream, and then for the first 24 hours after that, it then does get posted to YouTube, so you can watch it there, as well as the audio version gets posted to our podcast as normal. But there is a delay. So if you want to hear this when it comes out, you join us on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Raw and Order WBU. Couldn't be simpler. Totally free. Join. Now you can subscribe and send us some monies. And
not have to deal with those annoying ads.
Not have to deal with those ads. Oh, also, I'm going to point out that merch store that I mentioned, right? As we get more and more stuff there, if you're a subscriber, you get discounts on merch too.
What?
Mm-hmm.
You mean I can get our fantastic shirts
for cheaper?
For cheaper?
Yes.
But I have to subscribe.
No, that makes me sad, Panda.
Even if I Prime subscribe?
Yep. That gets you level 1 subscription benefits, which is, I believe, 15% off.
Oh, saving on the taxes. Look at me go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then you go up to tier 2, you go to 20% off. And tier 3 is a whopping 30% off.
Oh my God. Everyone should subscribe to tier 3. Ambrosia, what are you doing? No, she doesn't.
Tier 3.
Mm-hmm.
Bam. Okay, let's end this. I have a nicotine craving.
Speaking of that, hi, I'm back.
Wow, it only took you the whole fucking podcast.
Hey, I've been back in and out.
Have you? All right, fair enough.
Yeah. I've also dozed off a couple times because, you were talking.
Ouch. I mean, that's facts.
Ambrosia doesn't know the link. I'm putting the new merch store up there. That's the new link. You can still use the old link because the old link still has stuff there, but the new link is where you get the discounts from. I also am going to point out I have the t-shirts priced better at the new store. Margins are better.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So as I get stuff switched over.
Oh wait, so does that? Oh no, but that's Stream Elements. That has nothing to do with Amazon, right? That's a Stream Element thing.
Yeah, that's Stream Elements. Yep.
I would have been like, oh my god, maybe I also get like Amazon Prime shipping, but no, totally unrelated. Okay.
Totally unrelated. Yes.
Unrelated.
But anyways, yes. Check out our merch store. Like, share, and subscribe. Send your friends. Again, twitch.tv/Raw and Order WBU. You can follow us on the Facebooks. You can follow us all over the place. But the one place I really want you to follow us is twitch.tv/Raw and Order WBU. Because that's where you'll get the live streams, right? You can follow me on all of the socials at Raw and Order WBU, except Facebook, where it's at Pissant Podcast, like on the hat, because reasons. I don't know. You can follow D.A. Fabe at
D.A. Vincent Kayfabe.
And you can follow JLB at
JLB420 on Twitter. Twitch is where it's at, though. Follow me there. I'm officially affiliated. And they need to see my twitch.tv/JLBTLC25. Thank you. I was almost there. Over there, right down there. And Real Talk Radio is the brand. Probably not going to be doing anything for a hot minute because I'm going to Medico. And I ain't doing shit but drinking and relaxing and enjoying myself.
So wait, you're going to go to Mexico, chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool.
Shooting some b-ball up some school. It's gonna be probably football because I'm going with like a few football friends, so they're like all gonna be like, let's go play some football. I'm like, all right, so shooting out some football. That's
football.
Football or football?
American football.
Oh, American football.
Okay. America. Mm-hmm. Actually, they play flag football, but whatever, football.
What kind?
Hey!
I don't think those kind of language can be used on
flag, not the other one. Not the English cigarettes.
Okay, I get it.
Just making sure. Your hair's crazy, bud.
I know. I'm going for a haircut this week, too. I'm also very excited.
Can I cut it for you?
Haircut and shave.
Stop. Just have your flight stop in my area. I'll go to the airport, and then I get to cut your hair.
You're going to have a whole fucking kit there waiting for me? Nice.
At my local airport, I could probably pull that off.
Nice.
Speaking of your non-wrestling related podcast, I finally got to see Elvis today, and it was muy bueno.
Yeah, no, it was good. It just wasn't as good as like, a Walk the Line or a Ray or thing. But I mean, it was good for what it was, I guess.
I don't think it was trying to be those.
It's just a different story too, though.
It was a different story. To be perfectly honest, I think it really should have been called Colonel Parker.
Right.
Because he was really the main character of it.
You know what's messed up? I did not realize that was Tom Hanks until like after I watched the film and I was researching the film. I'm like, that was Tom Hanks? I'm like, I knew his voice sounded familiar.
No, I knew it was him. I mean, I knew he was in it, but I knew it was him as soon as he opened his mouth. It was good makeup. It was good makeup.
Really good makeup. It was really good makeup.
From here up, he was Tom Hanks, though. You could see his eyes.
Fair. Yeah.
But no, it was really good. I was a Elvis fan growing up, so I think I was the target demographic for this. But
I mean, they did a little bit of everything with Elvis. So they went through his bad, his good, his drugs. They did the whole drug scenario thing. And I know, I mean, it was a good movie. Good movie. It's just,
I think I think they could have spent maybe a little bit more time on the drug use, considering it's probably what killed him.
What killed him? I did also like that they made it. They reincorporated his blues and jazz from when he was younger, and how the black community he was influenced by the community he was in.
Yeah,
and that's
I was worried
really
that
enjoyed that too.
That they were going to whitewash it a little bit.
I was too.
Yep.
But
I mean, having BB King be an actual character, having Mama Thornton, Little Richard as an actual character for a short period of time, we're all thinking. But I mean, that was really the thing with Elvis. That was what made him so controversial at the beginning, is because he's saying black people music. But he's not black.
What? Yeah, it was the whole thing right at the beginning.
Did they do anything with the Ed Sullivan?
They didn't talk the Ed Sullivan show because they kind of covered it with the what was the one before Ed Sullivan? Glenn Miller show? No.
What happened on the Ed Sullivan show?
The Ed Sullivan show was one of his appearances where
they filmed him like we film our podcast from here up.
You know the segment in it where he appeared on the one show and he was so scandalous that then the next time they had him on, they made him sing to an actual dog and dress like a preacher man or whatever and be all clean cut and everything. When he went on the Ed Sullivan show, they were so worried about his hip gyrations that they wouldn't film him below like chest level because they didn't want his scandalous.
They kind of showed him that though.
But that's it. They did the first one. It wasn't. I'm trying to remember what show it was.
It was for the Santa Claus thing. No.
Wasn't
it like a Santa Claus special, Christmas special? Or are you talking about before that? Before that,
Steve Allen or Milton Berle? No, Steve Allen. It's got to be the Steve Allen show. That was the first show. Yeah, Steve Allen show. That was the first show that he came on and he performed. And then when they brought him back, they made him sing to the Hound Dog and dress like a Bible salesman, and he really hated it. And they could have done the Ed Sullivan show because it was all about the same time, but it's kind of the same story, right? And so why repeat it twice? Sort of a thing.
This makes sense.
But, they didn't focus as much on his drug use. I mean, they mentioned it and that his drug use was getting to him and maybe slurring his speech and stuff like that. But they also...
You did seem messed up for a bit, too, and why his wife was leaving, right? So that kind of
worked. But, his drug use got pretty bad at one point. They also didn't focus on Fat Elvis as much as I think they could have.
Right? I was kind of curious.
Fat Elvis was basically just the last 5 minutes of the movie was he put on a little weight, but he's still in Vegas, and he's still singing, and then... and then he died.
I know, but that's it. I almost kind of wanted to see his last day is maybe all I was kind of missing. Like how exactly, I don't know. I wanted a little bit of Fat Elvis at least.
Yeah.
He died on a toilet.
He died on a toilet. Yes.
I know. I wanted to,
of a heart attack that may or may not have been drug induced. But
I mean, it could have been an overdose and then he had a heart attack.
I mean, drugs can be bad on your heart. So, but, I was really impressed. Austin Butler did all of the singing up until the 68 comeback special. So all of young Elvis singing was actually him singing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The 68 comeback special and on, which was really only the last half hour of the movie. That's when they switched to actual Elvis, where he just lip synced to them. But and then they did use some actual Elvis footage throughout the course of the movie as well.
Yeah.
There's a really cool.
Smarks, I'm going to ask you a silly question.
Yeah,
Just because I don't remember when Elvis died. Were you alive when Elvis died?
I was not. He died in August of 77, and I was born in October of 77.
So if
So
Elvis would have hang on for a few more months,
yeah, I would have been alive for him to die.
Smarks would have been alive for him to die.
My mom used to tell the story of me when I was in, I want to say 3rd grade. I was really big into Elvis, and I begged her to let me dye my hair black so I could be like Elvis, because obviously that was the only thing that was different about us.
Yes. Still
Obviously.
is.
Still is to this day.
Aside from that, everything else is uncanny.
I'm exactly like Elvis.
You
mirror
enjoy
image.
bacon, peanut butter, banana sandwiches.
He mostly didn't put bacon. It was mostly just peanut butter and banana.
Peanut butter,
I
banana.
would add bacon to it because, I'm
Well, you'd be fat, Elvis.
I'm just built different.
Yeah, you'd be fat, Elvis.
I
But
feel like if you want to play a role on television,
oh, come on. I'm already fat Conan O'Brien.
well,
Oh,
I mean,
Um,
you've been compared to Conan O'Brien in
A
such
fat
manner.
Conan O'Brien. There's
Yeah, I was trying to be nice.
you can't change the story. They said fat Conan O'Brien, so that's the way it has to be. Anyway,
I'm repulsed that they didn't call you short. For Conan
yeah,
O'Brien.
short Conan O'Brien. Conan O'Brien's a fucking giant.
and
he's
also
like 6'4".
Conan O'Brien is also
6'5".
a
He's taller
skinny,
than I am.
lanky mother
he's
effer
tall,
too.
skinny,
so-
lanky. I am short and not skinny, lanky.
They could have said same weight but shorter, Conan O'Brien, which would have been more
Same weight, but
PC.
But yeah.
Oh.
But anyways,
Well, that was your impromptu film review on Elvis.
No, but I
This is a
did
wrestling
really like it.
podcast,
Austin
though.
Butler was phenomenal. Absolutely
He was.
phenomenal. There's a really cool YouTube video you can find if you look for it that stitches together Austin Butler's performance as Elvis with the footage of those same performances that
From Elvis.
from Elvis, and you can see how close he was to it. This is, I mean, I know this wasn't his first movie, but this was a star-making performance. We're going to be seeing a lot more of Austin Butler soon.
And fun fact, I had thought this was kind of a low budget movie
Oh, fuck no.
just before, but it's one of the highest movies of a singer in terms of budgeting wise. It was 80 million.
Yeah, fucking
Like
Baz
Ray
Luhrmann
was
does
40 million. Walk the Line was like 50 million. So
Baz Luhrmann does not do anything halfway.
Mm.
Have you ever watched any of his other shit?
I don't know what was his other shit.
Moulin Rouge, Strictly
Okay,
Ballroom,
yeah, Moulin Rouge.
the Romeo and Juliet. I know I'm forgetting one.
But I mean, you
Filmed
did
in
mention Moulin
Australia.
Rouge, and that was
Australia, which he filmed in Australia. Great Gatsby, that's the one I was forgetting.
oh snap.
Which, fun fact on The Great Gatsby, right? I got to see that in 3D in movie theaters.
The fuck
And
did you go
it
to see
was-
that in 3D for?
It was the best 3D movie I've ever seen.
Wait,
I-
ever?
I kid you not. The
That's
way
a
they did the
fucking
3D
weird
for the
statement.
movie was better than any other 3D movie I'd seen, right? Because they didn't treat it as like this, ooh, I'm gonna point my finger at you. Oh, I'm pointing a gun towards you. Oh, the alien is flying straight at you. Shit. They used it for artistic purposes. When you were in scenes where snow was falling, it was falling in layers. So it gave the screen depth for everything. You felt like you were there. Anyways, Baz Luhrmann does not do anything halfway. He fucking goes balls to the wall on everything he does.
It seems like it would be an uncomfortable thing.
balls to the wall, it probably is pretty uncomfortable. I mean, I haven't tried it myself. I don't have the.
Did you do
equipment.
everything? Yes, I did. Are you sure? Did you put your balls to the wall?
Listen, I'm a fat guy and my equipment's set up in a way. Balls to the wall is not something I can do easily. That's all I'm saying. On that note, we are going to wrap things up for the wrestling booking unit. We already told you all the things to do to follow us and like, share, and subscribe and all that stuff. If you joined us for the live stream, thanks. If you're listening to us elsewhere or later, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. But on that note, we're going to close the book. Thank you all for joining us. We will see you soon.
Bye.
Left the building.